the street lights lit this town like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it out. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight, we gonna let it up. Tonight, we gonna let it up. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it up.
Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day to ya. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I got a little heart on my shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but there, I'll move my hair. Little Valentine's Day shirt for you, you know. I'm in the spirit. What can I say? What can I say? And if you can see, I got some really pretty flowers back here. They're very, very, very pretty. I don't know why that one leaf looks like it's fallen, but it's not bothering me though. They're beautiful. They're white roses and they have like a little pink tint to them. Vincent did good. And he got me the cutest card. It's like a funny card. Mine was so serious and his was funny and it was kind of cute. Cuz usually he's pretty serious with his cards. So I thought it was cute. But welcome in everybody. Hey Miss Bree, hey Princess, hey Casey. It's good to see everybody. Hey baby girl. Hola. Hey Kitsy Cats. Hey Jen. Hey, Catherine, I saw what you said in the chat. She's like, got my pre-roll ready. Where you go to get your smoke, do they have pre-rolls that just ready for you to just to buy? Always wondered that. Hey, happy Cappy, happy Valentine's Day. Hey, Citizen. Hey, Mimi, welcome in, everybody. Hey, Lee, happy Valentine's Day. Hey, Julie. Steve, thanks so much. It's good to see you. Steve just gifted 5 memberships. Whoever got them, make sure you tell Steve thank you because it's a rare thing to see Steve in the chat. Happy Valentine's Day to you. I hope you had a good day. Hey, Jackie. Yeah, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, new members. I'm going to give some memberships out tonight. Don't let me forget. Hey, Day Phoebe. Welcome. Phoebe, welcome in. I always get someone's name wrong, don't I? Go to the store tomorrow and all the candy's on sale. That's right. That's right. Vincent's mom sent us candy from C's Candy. It's my favorite. Like, I mean, I love their candy so much, but you can't get it out here on the East Coast. And so every time we go to California, that's like a thing we do. We'll go with his mom and we'll like go and they'll give you so many samples that you're like full off of samples. Like you can't even pick the chocolates that you want anymore because you're just so full of chocolate. But Vincent gets his like a box from his mom every once in a while, like with like special food in there for him, Japanese food and stuff. And he was telling me, he's like, there's C's chocolate in here. And I'm like, no, there's not. Like, I mean, I just like didn't believe him. I really did not believe him until he like pulled the box out and it was all wrapped. And I was like, oh, this is great. So we also got that for Valentine's Day, which I'm trying to stay away from the chocolate, but it's just too good. It's just too good. Oh, you can order a 5-pack. That's awesome. Hey, Ashley. Happy Valentine's Day. Everybody's favorite Valentine is here. That's so funny. Welcome in. Oh, okay. They have pre-rolls. Some like, I don't think the dispensaries in Ohio really do. I love it too. Vincent got all the almond ones though this time. I was like, why didn't you get like a variety? He's like, I don't know. I was like, it's fine with me. It's fine with me. I like almonds. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever been there, but if you've ever been to C's Candy or if you know of a C's Candy in your area and you've never been there, go. And this is your sign. Hey, Lenora. Well, okay, we'll get into tonight's live. So there's just been like a lot of stuff going on with this case, and it's like insanity, right? They have them in Michigan. I think they're starting to have them more in Ohio, but they didn't for the longest time. I don't know why. Don't know why they did that. I mean, I would figure they would sell more because I mean, but some people like to roll, so I don't know. But welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we do cover true crime in real time, pretty much. Basically, that's what we were doing last night. We were all up. We were here for it. And then nothing happened. I mean, something happened, then nothing happened. And did it happen? Did it not happen? Was it a fever dream that we had last night? I don't know, but we're going to try to figure it out. Before we get into it, though, make sure that you hit the like button, please, if you don't mind. It does help push the video out to get more people to come in. And then also, if you want more deeper dives and members only breakdowns of our channel, come and check out, our members only. You can join. I think there's a dollar sign at the bottom or a join now button. So, all right. So tomorrow, we're going to do a deep dive into this case. Like I have so many notes. So, I mean, it's going to probably take like a couple parts to go through everything that's going on in this case. But I want to go through things because there's stuff that's just not sitting right. I mean, everything, nothing in this case that's right. And it should, this should be like, we should have already gotten Miss Nancy back. We should have, I don't understand what's going on. I couldn't imagine being her family and her kids. So, but like I said, tomorrow we're going to do a deep dive into it. But for now, we'll talk about last night. So late last night, law enforcement swarmed a property just a couple miles from Nancy Guthrie's home in the Catalina foothills, in the area of Tucson. So we're talking SWAT was there, FBI, crime scene units, evidence vans. The roads were blocked off. Brian Ninton was in the line of fire. I mean, it was insanity. This was not a routine patrol like activity that goes on. This was like a full-on operation. So according to the Pima County Sheriff's Department, several individuals were detained for questioning during the operation. But here's the key detail. No one was arrested. Why do we keep swarming people and not arresting nobody? If that were me, I'd be pissed. If I didn't have anything to do with this. If I had nothing to do with this, and especially if I had kids, like little kids, they need to start. I know they don't want to do like a knock and talk because of the fact that like this is such a, I mean, this is a kidnapping case for maybe for ransom. We don't know that even for sure. But I understand, like, going in hard, but can we make sure we're going in hard on the right person? And who was the judge that signed this? Like, there had to have been a judge that signed this warrant. And when you execute a warrant, you execute it for, say for me, okay, someone executes a warrant, like police execute a warrant on Tanya, and we want to go into Tanya's house and we want to look in her studio because we think that she has, drugs in there. Okay. So because they have to specify which part of their house they want to search. They usually have to specify that. Normally, you just don't get like a warrant and go in and search the whole thing. I mean, you do, but it can lead to that. But normally you're going in for a specific thing, right? Like something specific brings you to that location, whether it's like a gun or drugs or a murder victim or, something brings you there. So you heard it was a federal warrant, probably because the FBI's involved. You have a fever? Oh no. Applesauce, couldn't even drink coffee. Oh, I hope you feel better, baby girl. I'm so sorry. This is the weirdest case, isn't it, Garrett? I'm like, where's and then another thing that's getting me is like Savannah Guthrie, and I'm not saying anything bad about family, but Savannah Guthrie has a platform. Like, she has NBC where she can go on the Today Show and talk about this case for the whole damn hour if she wanted to. They would let her. It's so big right now. It would bring them ratings and they would be doing it for her, but the family hasn't even come out and talked like that. They've only done these Instagram kind of videos. And it's like, what's kind of going on? I don't know. You would think that they would be going on national television and like begging like for this person to come forward that supposedly may know, who has their mom or who knows the person that has their mom or whatever, I think that those, I don't know. I'm sticking with, I think the ransom notes are bullcrap still. And I think this new person coming forward with his 1 Bitcoin, and then you can pay him on Thursday or Monday, but okay, never mind. I want, this much more in Bitcoin, and you can pay me 50,000 now and 50,000 later. And like, that doesn't even sound like anything that would be right. You know what I mean? Like nothing at all. Like not even a little bit. I wanted to pull up her new flyer. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, look at this. She's everywhere. Oh, where'd it go? I did something. There it is. You can always find something if you need it on X. I feel like it'll be there. I wish my screen did this automatically. And welcome in, everybody. If I didn't see yet, you tried soup. Was 2020? Oh man, I don't get sick either. Math ain't mathin'. Yeah, it's like I want to know where. Like I'm getting upset because I want to know where she's at. I mean, I want to know where she's at. I want to know. I mean, I have a lot of questions. I have a whole list of them. Actually, we're going to go over those in the deep dive because after last night, I need a night of almost like just where I'm not reading a lot. I don't know how to explain it. Because last night was a lot. It was a lot for us. Like, we thought, and I'm sure the family thought, that somebody was getting arrested. I'm sure that they're watching the stuff on the internet a little bit. It would be hard not to. It'd be really hard not to. But so last night nobody was arrested, and as of the latest update, no one remains in custody. Authorities have not confirmed exactly what prompted the operation, but sources say evidence was collected and at least one vehicle was towed from the scene. So now this is where social media kind of exploded last night. There were reports circulating online, Dolly, claiming someone had been shot, and some rumors even suggested a self-inflicted gunshot during the operation. Here's what's important about that. There has been no official confirmation. I can't find even an article. I can't find anything from the sheriff's office or from the FBI that anyone was shot during this specific search. So, but there was a separate shooting reported elsewhere in Tucson, but it was like on the other side of town. So right now, no confirmed shooting tied to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. So to recap, like kind of the bigger picture before we get started, Nancy Guthrie is 84. She disappeared from her home on January 31st. Let that sink in. It's February 14th. Investigators say that there are signs of suspicious activity inside the home. DNA was found that does not belong to Nancy or any of her close contacts. The FBI released images of a masked individual near the home, and multiple ransom communications have been sent to media outlets, but none have been verified as legitimate. And the reward now stands at $100,000 for information leading to her location and or an arrest. And last night's operation pretty much shows that law enforcement is actively pursuing leads, even if they're doing it in a way I wouldn't prefer. When you see the SWAT, FBI, and the forensic teams all responding together, that usually means one of three things. They've either developed a new lead or maybe like a suspect. They tracked evidence to that location that they're wanting to go to, and they were, acting out of urgency. So, but until they release more, we have to just stick with the confirmed facts that we have. So as of right now, no arrest, no confirmation of a shooting, evidence still being processed. Cost $200,000 just to send the evidence down to Florida. So, that's crazy. So over the next couple of days, I want to go back and I want to look at exactly what happened in Nancy Guthrie. I want to start off tonight with a video from Fox Nation. I got Fox Nation again because I knew that this case would be all over it. And they always put stuff on there that's not, on their like the TV stations and stuff. So I wanted to show you guys that. And then it's a special that they did a few days ago. So on the next live, I want to go over and do a complete deep dive, and including all the interviews that the sheriff has done and all of the press conferences. It's going to be a few part series. It's going to be a few parts because I have let me see if I can go back to the top. Okay, so this is the timeline. I'm gonna go just show you how long this is, and it has sources. See sources here. So we're gonna go through and we're going to go back in time to when she was even born, and then we have all of the interviews that the Sheriff Nanos did, notes of that. So this is pretty long. This is going to take us a few days. And then we have the videos. We have, this is the investigative findings. And then we have some documents, videos, 911 call. I think that's 911 call. No, that's not. I don't know what call that is because we don't have the 911 call. Sorry. I was thinking Tempe murders because it's the same kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot. We're only halfway through this. Look at this. This is insanity. So we'll go through and we're going to figure out what we're missing here. I feel like there's something we're missing. We're all missing. I don't know. This is insanity. This case is it's just different than any case I've ever covered. I've covered approximately, I don't know how many cases I've covered, 75, 100. And that's just cases I've covered, cases I've watched and everything. I mean, thousands. And I've never seen a case like this. Not when I've watched like ID channel or you know what I mean? Even there's like channels where it's like true crime on there, like on there. It's like true stuff. But I've never seen a ransom other than John Bonet. Does anybody know of anybody else holding someone for ransom other than John Bonet? You think it's a PR stunt? But she was going to the Olympics. Like she was going like Savannah anyway. Savannah was going to, be a speaker at the Olympics. Like that's like making it. Like that's when you've made it. I feel like, Hey Tina. Like, I feel like that's when you're like, wow, like I'm a real, I'm a pretty big journalist. If they're allowing me and they want me to go and do the Olympics, I would think. I thought it might have been someone with the Olympics. I pray for Sebastian every day. It's turned into a shit show, that poor little boy's case. Oh my gosh, it's about to be his anniversary too. So News Nation put this out. We got our freaking statement. Everybody ready to be pissed? So last night I got a little cranky because I was like, I had to eat. I was getting hangry. And y'all was like, go eat. Casey was like, I remember Casey was saying, go get yourself something to eat. And I was like, I will, and I'll be back. And then I came back on. We literally lost, I don't know how many hours of our life. I would say like 4 to 5 hours we were on live, maybe 4. So I don't know how much you guys think that your time is worth, but mine's very valuable. So I think that I'm going to send Sheriff Nanos a bill for wasting my damn time last night. Because they say we're going to have the staging area for, just for the news. We're all like, oh my God, we're getting a press conference. We're staying up. We're like in it to win it at that point, We're like, oh my gosh, they have a suspect. We thought, I thought there was going to be an arrest. We were going to hear about Nancy, whether they found her or not. And that was going to go on, at the staging area for all of the media. Well, then all of a sudden, they say, nope, we'll get you a statement. Did anybody else feel like they went back to Idaho 4 last night when they heard that? And the judges, every time they went to the judge, I'll give you a written statement. Are you kidding? Like, just think of all the journalists that got out of bed. Thank you so much, Ladybug. Hey, everybody, she said. Are you feeling better? Yeah, Jen, we did. I'm gonna send them a bill. I hate when people waste my time. Vincent knows that too. He knows. I hate that's like the worst thing because all you have in this world is time that you just got a little bit. You know what I mean? Don't be wasting mine. So I don't know who did the picture, but I hope that he didn't take this picture of himself. Last night, a federal court order search warrant was executed at a residence near East Orange Grove Road and North First Avenue in connection with the Guthrie case. Oh, okay. In connection with the Guthrie case. So what'd you find? What happened? What's going on? No arrests were made. A traffic stop was also conducted and a person was questioned, but no arrest resulted from that incident. I think that's the one by Coverts. So they go to someone's house, right? Get them, and then they pull someone over at the Culverts, and none of them get arrested. It's all has to do with supposedly Nancy's case. What kind of police work are we doing over there? This is like, I mean, seriously. I think I could do better. I know I could. I went to school for criminal justice. I just need a little refresher course. It's craziness. They just wanted the phones and swab saliva, but I thought the Range Rover was going to have a body in it by the way they acted. Yeah. It's like, they really got us. Ashley, I'm surprised. I knew you probably didn't. I was about to text you early and like in the middle of the night. I didn't want to wake you though, because I was like, I was up too. Yeah, that's what I mean. Can you imagine having your house raided and then they don't even arrest you? Like, you better arrest my ass. house if you're going to raid my home. Because seriously, like we just think about the time that we saw, like Brian Koberger's house. The windows were busted out. The door was busted in. The people, Carlos, that just from Rio, he said his back door and his front door was busted in. And he said he doesn't have money to fix it. I mean, it's not like, you can just go out and buy like brand new doors if you don't have money like that. Right? I mean, a new door could be a few $100s. And then what if it's like a custom door? You don't sleep. I slept in so late today. It was embarrassing. Okay. So we've been keeping up with, I'm going to see if there's anything else on there. Like really quick on Fox Nation, see if they like uploaded something we don't know about. But we've been keeping up with Nancy's case over here on Fox Nation. And they actually put something out. It was a couple of days ago. They still have day 13, it's day 14, right? Yeah, okay. So we'll watch the other one. It looked really good. And then I'll be in the chat with you guys. Okay, so this is it's called Vanished: What Happened to Nancy Guthrie. And I'll pause it for commentary, of course. It's like 38 minutes long. Let me go back so we can get there we go. Okay. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button for me, please. If you'd like to become a member of our wonderful channel, you can above. It's should be linked up there. So if you want to do that. Also, yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I think we're like 10 away from 24,000. So yeah, if you could subscribe, that would be really nice. If we can make that happen by the end of the stream. Maybe I could put like a little banner up. And then I'll give out some memberships also. So I slept in, Tina, till 11:30 though. I've not slept in that long since I was in my 20s. Or maybe my 20s. I don't know. I don't know what happened to me. Like Vincent went out and was working and I was asleep and I woke up out of my slumber and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? Like, I was like, what's going on? Is this Earth? When you like wake up, like you're just still out of it. And I called Vincent right away because I'm like, where are you? What's going on? And he's like, he's like, you fell asleep. He's like, you were out. I needed it, Lenora. I think it was like just everything was catching up with me. You know what I mean? Like just lack of sleep and stuff. So yeah, I definitely needed it. I was like, I might do it again tomorrow if my body will let me. All righty. Hey, Tony. And welcome in. Hey, Kentucky Lucky. I read your comment and I didn't even say hello to you. So welcome in, everybody. And thanks again, Ladybug, for the super chat. And Steve, if you're in here, thank you for the memberships.
The investigation has become an all-hands-on-deck probe with local, state, and federal authorities involved.
Fox News is reporting that local officials found blood and signs of forced entry, and now the Pima County Sheriff's Office is now aware of possible ransom notes sent to at least one media outlet.
Resources for missing person that we typically always do. Our search and rescue volunteers, our search and rescue teams, other agencies, Borstar from Border Patrol sent their canines out. They worked tirelessly all day yesterday and all day tonight. We believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home.
County Sheriff's Office says as of right now, they have no suspects or no persons of interest.
Everyone is looking for your mommy everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
I'm standing outside the home of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie, talk show host. Now, her mother has been reported missing, and the police have very few leads or suspects. This is the story now as we know it. Tucson, Arizona sits in the heart of the Sonoran Desert, where wide skies, jagged mountains, and towering cacti create a striking, serene beauty.
Tucson, Arizona consists of a population of just over 500,000 people. So we're speaking of 500,000 people. It's not a small city, it's not a large city, it falls right in the middle.
Wasn't that guy off of First 48 or something?
Area where Nancy Guthrie lives, it is one of the better neighborhoods in Tucson. So you would think of it as a safer neighborhood. The homes there are higher priced, perhaps, than you would see in other neighborhoods in Tucson.
Although the area that she lives in is a safe neighborhood, you have a lot of incursions at the border, such as drug cartels, human trafficking, that do impact in that area in Arizona. So not to discount their level of expertise in dealing with violent crime, but this is not something that traditionally happens in that area of Tucson, Arizona.
Nancy Guthrie has been living there for more than 5 decades. She's active in her community, very close to her family, and very religious.
She was an avid churchgoer. In fact, Savannah Guthrie has previously said, growing up, we would go 3 times a week. It was very much a part of my upbringing. God was the 6th member of our family.
The evening of January 31st, Nancy Guthrie was at her daughter's home, Annie Guthrie, and her son-in-law, and they live in Tucson, just about 4.5 miles away from her home, about an 11-minute drive. Nancy Guthrie took an Uber over to her daughter's home for a family evening, a dinner.
Nancy was driven back to her home in the affluent Catalina foothills by a family member just before 10 p.m. She entered her house through the garage door and closed it 2 minutes later.
I wonder why they haven't really told us for sure who took her home. Like we've heard, there was a son-in-law, but I don't think they've come out and said it. Like they always just keep saying a family member. Like, why can't you just say who it was?
Just before 2 a.m., her doorbell camera disconnected. About 30 minutes later, software detected a person on a different camera. 15 minutes after that, Nancy's pacemaker app disconnected from her phone. The following morning, Nancy didn't show up for church.
She attended church every Sunday, and other parishioners noticed that she was not at church that Sunday morning. And so they contacted Nancy's family.
It set up some antennas as to what her whereabouts may have been. Because she's an 84-year-old woman that has some physical challenges, it was determined that she should have been either in church or in the house, and the assessment was she was in neither of the two. So as a result, there was a call to law enforcement.
Reference Nancy, a white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, powder blue, ring after 2,200 hours as of yesterday. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
When law enforcement arrived,
You know what I just thought? If she could only walk 150 yards at a time, she probably couldn't even walk from one side of her house to the other. I don't know. It just made me think of that. But
they saw that there were blood drops on the front porch. Again, before knowing who those blood drops belonged to, that obviously concerned them.
We have a blood trail in the front of the house. However, we don't have anything of substance that would lead us to the directional path that she exited the residence.
Nancy Guthrie had a very sharp mind, but she had some physical limitations based on what the family had shared. She walked with a cane typically, and so they knew that she would not likely have just left the home and gone a far distance on her own. And that was quite alarming to the family and again to law enforcement.
As authorities canvassed the property for clues, they noticed something unusual. The camera on the front door was missing.
When law enforcement went in to look into that, the technology company advised that she did not have a paid subscription. And so apparently there were other cameras around the home.
At 2:12 a.m., the software detected a person on camera. This was a camera that the sheriff said he could not pinpoint the location of the camera.
This was not an impulsive crime. There was planning that had gone into this.
At this point, it became clear Nancy had not left the home on her own, and it appeared she had been abducted.
We have an 84-year-old woman that has been kidnapped that's in need of medication, and we've seen blood on the front of her house, which dictates that there's an injury.
We believe now that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime. This is a 84-year-old lady who suffers from some physical ailments, has some physical challenges, is in need of medication. Medication that if she doesn't have in 24 hours, it could be fatal. She's of great sound mind, and she is mobile. It's just, it's a challenge for her to get, as the family says, she couldn't walk 50 yards by herself.
Do you believe that this was targeted, or they just happened to?
Did he say 50 yards? Because it's 150, I thought.
And she is mobile. It's just, it's a challenge for her to get, as the family says, she couldn't walk 50 yards by herself.
Do you believe that this was?
They said 150 before. Now, okay. If she can't walk 50 yards, how the hell is she getting from the couch to the bathroom?
Was targeted, or they just happened to Guthrie's mom, or this was just a random zone?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
150 feet ain't very far. What if you got to go to the bathroom? What if I had to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't happen. You'd have to get your walker. Man, I would just want a smaller house.
We look at all of that, but we just don't know.
This sent shockwaves throughout the community.
In the 50 years I've lived here, I've never heard of any crime like this. It's a friendly neighborhood. It's a very comfortable place to live. That's one of the main reasons I moved here many years ago. And people walk every day in the streets around the neighborhood, and they know one another, greet one another, walk their dogs, and by and large, there's just no crime.
The people in that particular neighborhood, I think their concern is the safety, because they moved to that spot, which is a very good neighborhood in Tucson, hoping that you don't have these types of incidents. But when you see it, I think it's an eye-opener, and you realize, look, there's potential for danger and there's potential for criminal behavior, regardless of what area of any city you're living in.
Nancy's disappearance was now national news. Her social media photos were plastered everywhere in hopes that someone might recognize her and have some idea as to where she might be.
So obviously in these investigations, time is always of the essence, but particularly when you're dealing with an individual who has health issues, that adds another layer of extreme complication. Additionally, you want to get as much evidence as quickly as possible, again, because of the urgency and the sensitivity of saving a life. But they're doing the typical investigative moves, technological evidence, forensic evidence, DNA samples.
She was last seen on Saturday night by family members and again was reported missing on Sunday morning. They brought in volunteers, they have dogs, they have drones, they have aircraft using infrared imaging.
They asked the neighbors for help. Had they seen anything? More importantly, had their security cameras seen anything? Nancy went missing when it was dark, and her neighborhood limits light pollution.
Areas of Pima County and Tucson, they have a rule where they do not allow certain lighting. So there's areas in neighborhoods that don't have your typical street lights like you would see in a lot of other cities. That whole area where her home is and the other homes, it's extremely dark.
Who would not? All because of the stargazing. Because people go stargazing out there. That's why they don't have the street lights. I don't care. I'd be like, I wouldn't live out there.
1 to 5 a.m., you're in essence going to have complete darkness. So your line of sight is going to be somewhat limited.
Yesterday, we get word that the helicopter's in the air. And some of my sources tell me that BORTAC and BORSTAR, which is the special operations with the K9 unit as well, are out there with Border Patrol searching the terrain.
They're going to be looking around outside, sending canines, looking for any sort of inkling of where she could be.
I went directly to the neighborhood. I got out and I ended up walking through all the various areas of the desert near and around her home to see if there was any possibility of finding some type of footprints.
Drawing upon his 20-plus year career in Border Patrol, Art Del Cueto, a Tucson resident, took it upon himself to take part in the search for Nancy.
Tucson has a lot of rolling hills. It has a lot of dry creeks and rivers that are dry. We call them washes out here. So there's a lot of washes. In this particular neighborhood where Nancy Guthrie lives, I first started obviously behind her home. I looked into those washes and I just started looking at anything that I would find disturbance in the trees, in the dirt. As horrible as it sounds, you start looking to see if there was any heel drag marks behind the house in the wash area near her home.
Later that day, a motive came in the form of an untraceable email sent to local news station KOLD.
We were pretty alarmed pretty quickly, and we sent that information over to the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and their detective got back with us and asked us for some follow-up info so that they could perhaps figure out who did this.
There was some software that was used to obfuscate where that information came from. This is not groundbreaking technology. We shouldn't take that as an indication that the person who's sending this is technologically savvy.
As the search for Nancy continued, 2 more ransom emails were forwarded to law enforcement. The first was sent by a local news station. The second, sent by TMZ.
There was a ransom email that was sent to TMZ, and the fact that they chose TMZ is interesting. But looking at the actual contents of the email is equally as interesting, because they provide a Bitcoin account, which supposedly is a real Bitcoin account. They also provide a 2-tier timeline for the deadline. Their first one being on Thursday at 5 p.m. and the second one being several days later on Monday.
The TMZ ransom note had information that wasn't public, which leads law enforcement to believe that this may possibly be real.
It is alleged to have mentioned specific details about damage to a floodlight and the location of Nancy's Apple Watch inside the home.
couldn't you see that though on like one of the news like stories? Like, you know what I mean? This, like, I don't know.
It looks as almost that they want to buy some time, but they're making substantial demands.
My experience with kidnappers is they want an open line of communication because they want to shutter this as quick as possible and take the money and run.
Yeah.
So for it to be close-ended and a statement such as you're not going to hear anything else and we want Bitcoin is more of an aberration than the norm.
Law enforcement will go in and they will review the actual email, the transmission of it, how it was received, looking at IP addresses, looking at internet service providers, looking at header information. There's a lot of data that can be gathered on the back end. But additionally, the contents are analyzed by an FBI profiler from our behavioral analysis unit. And then working in coordination with the family, they came up with a statement. Of course, it's always at the family's wish. Law enforcement will not tell them what to do. They will not force them to do anything at all. It is their choice on how they want to handle things. And ultimately, it's their choice of how they want to state the words.
We're looking at this from every angle, but we need your help. If you live in the area or saw something on Saturday night, the 31st of January, or Sunday morning, the 1st of February, please report it to the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one. Again, please help us bring Nancy Guthrie home.
Law enforcement.
I mean, how do we lose an 84-year-old woman and we can't find her? I say this in a lot of missing persons cases, you know what I mean? But it's like, come on.
Assured a concerned public that this was an isolated incident.
Is there somebody out there who's kidnapping elderly people in the middle of the night every night? We've not heard that. We don't believe that's the case.
In fact, it is extremely rare for anyone over the age of 80 to be kidnapped at all.
And based on my experience, the fact that it's just a random individual is possible, but not probable. The fact that it's a targeted attack is much more probable. The fact that it could be someone who is close to her that knew her very well is highly probable. People have talked about, oh, Tucson is so close to Mexico. Maybe it's someone from Mexico that came across the border, and possible, but likely not probable.
More details emerged about the ransom notes, which allegedly demanded millions of dollars in Bitcoin. They are said to have given a deadline of 5 p.m. that Thursday, and with a warning of, or else. And the person or people involved gave no way to make contact. Meanwhile, police continued to canvass the area and seek out camera footage from nearby homes.
They are going to be looking at the Ring cameras of surrounding neighbors. But that also is problematic because of the nature of the homes and the vegetation. These homes were set back far from the street. They sit on about a half an acre to an acre. Also, this neighborhood is known to have no street lights at night. That's something that they pride themselves in. They like to have the bright stars and they don't want artificial lighting. But to law enforcement, that's been quite detrimental because the more light you have, obviously, the more you can see. It's easier to solve crimes. It's easier to capture images.
If you do have a Ring camera,
couldn't they do like low hanging lights to where they're like dimming on like the street to where you could see them on the street, but not like up in the sky somehow? I don't know. Thinking about things over here. If you see me on Shark Tank, root for me.
now you're having to deal with the different types of lighting. If there's any flashes towards that ring, it could.
Like you could put like a strip of lights, let's just say, on like the electric lines, and then you could see. I don't know. I'm just thinking this.
So change and distort the view. So if there was a vehicle driving through that neighborhood, that camera now has to deal with the lighting. It has to deal with the vegetation and also the distance. So some of the neighborhood cameras may not be able to get a vehicle coming through there like some people believe it would.
Investigators also took a deeper look into Nancy's credit card history. Had she paid someone recently who would have had access to her home?
This is quite telling because this will tell you, was there a landscaper that visited the location? Was there a plumber that visited the location that was paid with a credit card? We're going to also look to other individuals in that same area to see if we have seasonal employees, and we're going to interview all of those people. We want to widen the net as large as possible, and then we'll narrow it as we move forward.
We still have a lot more questions than answers, but President Trump says he's committed to finding out what happened.
I think it's terrible.
Would you commit to more federal agents like helping out on the?
Sure, I would. I'm going to call her later on. I think it's a terrible thing. I always got along very good with Savannah. Very unusual situation, but we're going to find out.
I'm not going to say nothing much, but he did say this like a couple weeks ago, like a week and a half ago, that something was going to happen real soon. Can we ring him? Can we call him up? Anybody got Trump's number? Like the red phone, you know, the Oval Office?
I think the majority of people that enter law enforcement, they have that alpha mentality. But I think at times we need to realize that there's other groups that may have different resources, different skill sets. I'm extremely happy that the FBI is here. I think, you know, they offer a different area of with their forensics and everything else that they can use to further gather the evidence and ultimately get Nancy home and, of course, arrest the people that are involved.
As multiple law enforcement agencies probed around Tucson, journalist Ashley Banfield made a shocking claim. Tommaso Cioni, Nancy's son-in-law and husband of Annie Guthrie, may be under investigation, a claim we could not corroborate.
There's an important element that I think law enforcement is definitely zeroing in on, and that is she was last seen with her family, particularly her family members who dropped her off at her home. So that would be natural for law enforcement to check into that, particularly her son-in-law. And so law enforcement has visited Annie Guthrie's home, conducted interviews, and it's also important to note that they had a system called Celebrite. And that's a technological forensic evidence gathering device. And you literally can image cell phones, laptops, tablets, things of that sort. And that's critical. The family has been cooperative up until this point.
They were not named as suspects.
I think that if they thought he had anything to do with this, you know what I mean? I think they'd be focusing more on him and not going after random ass people, in my opinion. But I just feel like they would have arrested him already. They would have already followed him everywhere. They would have already looked into everything with him, like where he could have hidden her. And also, what did he do? He dropped her, did he drop her off? Because the garage doors only open the one time and for 2 minutes, you know, up and then down. And so did he go home and then get out of bed and Annie just didn't hear him for the whole night pretty much? Because, I mean, it would take some time, you know, a few hours to do that and then come back and he got back in bed. I just don't see it. I don't know. I just don't see it. But I could be wrong. That would be horrible.
Another member of the family, Cameron Guthrie, a retired F-16 pilot, arrived in Arizona to help with the search. That night, armed with little to no information about who had their mother, the three siblings made a plea for her safe return via Instagram.
She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer.
The initial statement that was made by the siblings in response to the ransom email was, you know, please, we love our mother. Please help us and give us a sign that she's alive. We want to work with you, but we need a sign of life.
You can see it in their face. They want their mom back. That's what it comes down to. That's all you can do at this point, is sit there, pray, and be able to put out some type of message and hope that you touch the heartstrings of these individuals. But if you are to that point where you're so callous to go in a neighborhood and abduct an 80-some-year-old lady, I don't know what kind of heart you have to begin with.
That statement was very interesting, but it was all based on them working in tandem with a law enforcement individual who we refer to as a coach. And that person gains the confidence of the family as it relates to gaining information and assisting in the process, but also structuring a message to the potential kidnappers. And so when you listen to that message, it was very systematically sound in terms of who they are. The mother's a good person. We want her back into custody. They didn't tip their hand on in any way, shape, or form as it relates to what law enforcement is doing. They're just saying they want their mother back.
Well, and they also let them know, like, hey, she needs her medication. She has these health problems. Like, that was a good thing to put in there, you know? Those people, because whoever took her, they might not know these things.
This was clearly
And she may have not gotten the chance to say anything to them.
a well-organized crime. Nancy's abductors knew she would be home and that she would be alone. And they knew how to remain in the shadows. The family hoped this plea would bring them into the light. The day ended with a candlelight vigil held at a local church.
Most merciful God, we pray for our sister Nancy. Guide her, comfort, and sustain her in this moment of need.
At this point, no new information about the case had emerged. But feeling the pressure to satiate a nation hungry for answers about this bizarre case, the sheriff called a press conference.
Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. I've made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. We're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from.
Ashley Banfield.
We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all.
I got to give the sheriff credit. He's taking a lot of heat because people feel that he's not putting out the fact pattern that they would like to hear. But I genuinely believe the sheriff has a lot more information than he's speaking to when we see him having his press conferences. I just think it's a matter of time.
It is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. I think you all know the blood on the porch. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. And I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case.
They don't have a particular person of interest, but they also have not ruled out anybody. And they will keep that, net cast very, very wide. And most importantly, they want to continue to get tips. They need help.
Has there been any proof of life? And has there been any sign of life? Well,
I'm going to, anything to deal with the ransom notes and that, I would defer to the FBI. But no, to my knowledge, we're still looking for Nancy.
Days into the search for Nancy Guthrie, police were still stumped, or at least tight-lipped.
One of the things that we've never been able to determine is how many people could be behind this. Is this a single actor? Is this multiple persons? Is this a professional team? None of that has been made clear because I don't believe law enforcement even knows.
But also, on top of that, it may not have been that direct contact. One of those individuals may have potentially hired someone to carry out this act. They may not have ever touched the crime scene, but have asked someone else or paid someone else.
The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance.
The clock seemed to be ticking even faster.
Obviously, in these investigations, time is always of the essence, but particularly when you're dealing with an individual who has health issues that literally require medications that are necessary in order to live, that adds another layer of extreme complication.
There was a strong possibility Nancy had been without her life-preserving medication for days. But that also offered an investigative tool.
The sheriff had said that they had gone to different pharmacies, gone to different areas to see, if that medication had been requested since her disappearance. But at this point, they see no record of that.
In a bit of a surprising move, police returned to Nancy's house to do another sweep of the crime scene.
Now, law enforcement officials were back in force at Nancy Guthrie's house last night, just 24 hours after the Sheriff's Department had told us they'd actually cleared the crime scene. Well, they all turned up last night. Sheriff's deputies, Border Patrol with canine units, and FBI agents. They took more items from the house. For instance, we saw them carrying away something wrapped in brown paper.
That was like something silver. What was that? I'm curious.
The crime scene. Well, they all turned up like
It looks like a computer monitor. It looks like an Apple computer. Anybody else got an idea of what that could be? I'm saying, I mean, I don't know. It looks like an Apple computer, like a silver one. Now, I could be totally wrong. It's hard to see, but that's what it looks like. Like, what else would you take out of a house, right? That's like that. I don't know. Because, those computers don't have like a big tower with them. So
last night, sheriff's deputies board.
See, it's like you can see it like right there. Like, I don't know.
Was brought in later on, and they had their own way of conducting investigations, and they wanted to go back and retrieve additional evidence and things of that sort.
As the day drew,
Quite premature.
Border Patrol with
I went forward, not backwards. Okay, sorry about that. I thought I went back.
canine units and FBI agents. They took more items from the house. For instance, we saw them carrying away something wrapped in brown paper.
They turned over the crime scene quite prematurely. And then the FBI was brought in later on, and they had their own way of conducting investigations, and they wanted to go back.
Prematurely? They should have never taken that crime scene tape down ever. Not until the crime scene, not until it's there's no longer a crime. There should have been a cop there, just like at Idaho. This is an extremely, popular, so that's not the right word, but it's a very trending case. People are wanting to know what happened. It should have been blocked off. Brian Enton should have never been able to go on the property. Technically, that's trespassing, but I mean, it's Brian Enton, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But he did. I think that I personally kind of have a feeling that maybe Brian saw the blood, right? And he videotaped it because wasn't it? I think it was like after he released that video is when they came back and they put the crime scene tape back up. You only have one chance at a crime scene. That is like the crime scene cardinal rule. You only have one chance. Once you release that scene and people are able to go back in there and do whatever they want, everything that's in there can be contaminated. Even if you get DNA off of something, even if you got the murder weapon in there, the defense could argue all day long. The scene was released to the family. And there you go. You have no freaking case because you released the crime scene 24 hours later. Not even that long.
I can retrieve additional evidence and things of that sort.
as the day drew to a close, the ultimatum set in. The 5 p.m. deadline to hand over millions of dollars passed. Not a word from the captors about those disastrous consequences they had threatened.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Local Tucson television station, KOLD, received a second ransom note originating from a different IP address than the one a few days prior. Again, no proof of life. It is reported that the second message made no new demands.
One of the things we're trying to determine is whether or not the two messages that were sent to local media are from the same person or persons. That information has not been shared with us, but the software that's being used to hide the identity of the person sending it is the same. And also the language being used, the details being shared are the same. They believe they're coming from the same individual or individuals.
Meanwhile, officials are now looking into all leads and have visited a gas station just miles from Nancy's neighborhood to review surveillance video and search for a vehicle of interest. Guthrie's neighbor, Brett McIntyre, told the New York Post that he reported seeing an unmarked van to the police, who asked him basic questions about what he observed and what he saw. He said it was a white van, full size, with no printing on the side. It was parked on the street before she disappeared. Where would you go with that?
Following up on that tip, law enforcement asked local businesses for any video footage that may have caught the van on camera. Meanwhile, on board Air Force One, President Trump weighed in again, this time suggesting new information may be coming to light.
We have some clues, I think, that are very strong, and I think we could have some answers coming up fairly soon.
Is this a nationwide search? Is this a search going?
I'm not talking about a search, I'm talking about a solution. We have some things I think that will maybe come out reasonably soon from DOJ or FBI or whoever that could be
suspect.
Yeah, could be definitive.
On Friday afternoon, FBI agents were seen on the roof of a building on Guthrie's property, removing a mounted, wired device.
I understand that one of the reasons why last night they went up on the roof of Nancy's home is that a neighbor had pointed out that the roof had recently been surfaced, and they went up there with a ladder to get, take something off the roof.
If it wasn't a camera, I'm wondering if it was some sort of like wiring to like another device, like to the garage door or something. I don't know why it'd be on the roof, but.
The Guthries made one last desperate appeal. They took to Instagram and agreed to pay the ransom.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
The latest communication from the Guthries posted on Savannah Guthrie's Instagram is probably the most dire of the messages that we've seen so far. One, it does not ask for proof of life. Two, there is no direct address from Savannah to her mother, and that she's using specific terms to the kidnappers.
Many people focused on one key word: celebrate.
Yeah, celebrate.
We beg you.
I thought it would be like, I mean, that could go either way, right? Celebrate could go two ways. Celebrate, she's home, she's there, she's alive, or celebrate her life, meaning like she's dead, and we want to celebrate who she was, but we need her. That's how I kind of took it through the whole, this whole thing. They said, she said, I understand her. We understand. I don't know if I would be able to say those words. That would take such strength. But I also don't understand why they're not on camera every single minute that they can be. Like, not every minute, but you know what I mean? At least once a day going like, please tell us where our mother is. I mean, you know, we haven't heard from you. I would be calling them out. I'd be like, you guys are cowards. I would be calling them out at this point. Because it's like, you're not sending proof of life. You're not telling us where our mother is. You're not telling us, you know, where to send the money. You're giving us a Bitcoin address and you just expect us to put the money in there. And and then what? There's no, and then after we get the money, what are you going to do? They said we need 12 hours to release her. Like, no, that's not going to happen. You know?
You now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. That can be taken in different ways. It can be taken that they want their mother alive returned to them so they can celebrate with her, or it could be taken in an unfortunate manner that she may very well no longer be here, but they want her body.
I swear I haven't watched this beforehand, but we're on the same page, my brother. So that was, what, Saturday they put the video out? That was 7 days ago?
1 week after Nancy was taken from her home, investigators continued to track down every lead.
We've seen law enforcement go back out to the house many times. We've also seen them using metal detectors. We've also seen them even searching through, lifting up manholes and searching inside of what's underneath. It's obvious that law enforcement is taking this incredibly seriously. They've dedicated a lot of resources towards it. We've seen them make many searches. I'm sure that even behind the scenes, it's far beyond any of that.
No matter what happens, one thing is for certain. The city of Tucson has been changed forever.
I think the community itself, it's frustrated, right? You don't want your city to be at underneath a magnifying glass when it comes to a crime, first and foremost.
I think people still maintain hope, but it's hard to do that when it doesn't seem as though there are any clear leads.
And then, as the second deadline loomed, Savannah Guthrie issued another statement via Instagram.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
It appears huge development. The FBI has an image of a man who is masked, who is armed, and the only thing discernible are his eyes, his mouth.
It's absolutely remarkable development. Residual data from back-end systems. Just an hours ago, we thought this case had come to an absolute brick wall and that they were asking the public for any kind of tips. This is incredible.
Vincent's actually had to do that before on cameras. Like, it was sort of like this, not like this, but it was a traffic camera that they had access to, like, in their back-end systems, that they had like these huge computers, like supercomputers, and that's what he did for work for a long time. And he had to tell like the police like what he saw and stuff, and like get it off the tape, like get it off the, you know, the hard drive or whatever, and give it to them. So
incredibly,
he'd be a good person to interview, but he won't come on.
Valuable evidence. And I know people may be looking at this and saying, well, you can't see the person's face, you can't see their hair, there's no identifying features. What I am so encouraged by is how clear these photos are. This is very powerful evidence, not only in furthering the investigation, but potentially at a trial.
Now, I know a lot of people say he has like a mustache, and he could, yeah, could have a mustache. Wouldn't you shave that though? Like, because you're trying to cover your face. A mustache is a distinctive look. A mustache and just a goatee is a very distinctive look. I don't even know a lot of guys that wear that anymore. Like that, my dad used to have a goatee and a mustache. Usually it's like a beard and, mustache. I don't see a lot of guys with goatees anymore.
And I'm very encouraged by it.
We have another new posting from Savannah Guthrie on her social media account. She's posting the new video and saying this: someone out there recognizes this person. We believe she is still out there. Bring her home. Anyone with information, please contact 1-800-CALL-FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
For Nancy, for the Guthrie family, for the Tucson community, and all the country who has offered so much support throughout this heartbreaking situation, we can only hope that she will be found and that one day justice will be served.
So I was going to show you where they've all been. So I remember seeing the house, but I couldn't remember. I don't think I showed it to you. So Savannah and her sister, I believe, and her sister's husband and her brother. I don't know if her brother has family. I don't know. This might even be her brother's house. But they're living in luxury right now. They got the tennis court, they got the pool, they got the jacuzzi. I mean, I'd probably want to be living in luxury though too right now. So Savannah Guthrie and her siblings have moved in together at a $1.2 million mansion in the Arizona desert amid intense media scrutiny over the disappearance of their mother, Nancy, a report said Monday. Okay. Savannah, a Today Show TV host, was initially staying with her sister Annie, 56, and brother-in-law Tommaso, 50, at their $675,000 house in the Catalina Foothills neighborhood above Tucson near their mom's home. But as law enforcement paid a second visit to the house over the weekend and press swarms the area, the two sisters, along with their older brother Cameron, 61, moved into a 5-bedroom home nearby, the Daily Mail reported. Only $1.2 million. I would have guessed more. So yeah, that's it. And that's perfect timing because Vincent just walked in. So I'm going to jump off of here. But yeah, that's all I got for you tonight. I'm going to go over, I want to go over and do a deep dive into this case starting tomorrow. I have so much stuff I want to show you guys. Down to, Miss Guthrie's birthday. We're going to start the day she was born and we're going to go on down. We've got documents. We've got, the 911 call dispatch, the little bit that we do have, we have all kinds of stuff that we can look at. I wish you guys could have seen my red microphone. Let me take this thing off because I'm going to take it off after today. Well, maybe after the month. I had this red one on. It looks kind of orange compared to my shirt, but it's not. It's red. And it's usually black. So I only pull this out like once a year and there it is. So yeah, that even had a little heart on my shirt. So I was in the spirit. And if you guys didn't see my beautiful flowers back there, Vincent got me 24 white roses, beautiful, and a card. And he's good to me every day. So this was just a little extra special. But thank you guys. And if you don't mind, hit the like button on your way out. Let's push this video out to more people. I will be back on, like I said, tomorrow with a bunch of stuff. We're going to even see if Savannah will even end up going back to the Today Show. I'll have information on that. I'll have information on a bunch of other things. Brian Enton even did, I think, a special tonight at 8:00. So we'll go over some of that. And we'll start doing like a deep dive and just see what every time I feel like we go back and we listen to press conferences or we do things of that nature, we always end up picking up things that we didn't pick up before. So I think it'll be a good idea. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. It'll probably be tomorrow, Sunday. I might do an afternoon live, so maybe between 12 and 2. So make sure your notifications are on, that bell icon. If you have your bell like the bell icon on, and you're still wondering why you're not getting notifications for any channel, make sure if you're on a cell phone or like an iPad that you allow all of your alerts for YouTube on that as well. So you have to go into your settings on your actual iPad or your phone, go to settings, go to YouTube, allow notifications, and then the notifications will come in. So thank you guys so much for being here. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. I hope you got to spend a little bit of time just, doing something special for yourself. I will see you guys all later. Oh, the dog is stretching on the floor. So I'll see you guys all later. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Come in just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out, can't make a stop.